Kagome, you're safe, the half-demon stated as Kagome smiled at him and embraced him with all her might as he hugged her back with the same extent of force. You came for me like I knew you would, she said as tears ran down her face. Kagome, did you really mean all of that? You'll stay with me? Inuyasha asked in a hushed voice as he was unsure of her answer. Kagome looked up at him with a tear-stained face. Yes, Inuyasha, I love you, and I was worried I'd never get to tell you. Will you let me stay with you? Forever? The young Miko asked. Inuyasha looked at his mate and smiled. Of course you can stay. I love you too, Kagome. More than anything or anyone, the dog god said softly, as he kissed Kagome once again, who as well kissed back, but the joy was short-lasted. So, you finally come, huh, Muttface? Koga sneered as his pack was ready for battle behind him. Give me one damn good reason I shouldn't tear you to pieces, Inuyasha growled as he gently pushed Kagome behind him. Oh gee, that's a hard one. Maybe it's because I'll attack your land and that dump of a village if you try anything? Koga asked rhetorically. Never, Inuyasha snapped. And you were dumb to come alone. Get him! The young wolf tribe leader shouted at his pack of wolves and wolf demons as they charged at Inuyasha and Kagome. But before any of them could react, the young couple could reach the young couple. An army of demons Kagome had seen in her village that day swarmed into the cave, attacking the wolf demon army, and leading the demons through the air was Sango and Kohaku riding on Kilala's back. Next to them was Totosai riding on his flying bull, breathing fire at the wolf demons, with Moroku riding behind him throwing sacred sutras at the nearby wolf demons. Kagome! Two familiar voices shouted. Kagome turned to see Bunza and Shippo running towards her. Once close enough, they jumped up and hugged her. You're okay, Bunza cried as tears ran down his and Shippo's faces. We were so worried about you, Shippo added, hugging Kagome tightly. I'm all right, don't you two worry, the Miko replied. Save the Uggs for later, Bunza. Save the Uggs for later. Bunza, Shippo, get Kagome out of here. She's in this awful place long enough, Inuyasha instructed as he took out his sword, ready to fight. What? No, I want to stay with you, Kagome cried. Inuyasha turned to her. I know, but I don't want you to put yourself through anything else you having to do with these bastards. Please, Kagome, I want to keep you safe, please. Inuyasha very nearly begged as he looked at his mate with pleading eyes. Kagome then hugged him. Just promise you'll come home, she said. Inuyasha hugged her back. I promise. Now go, he stated as he charged into battle. It took all of Kagome's will to turn around and let Bunza and Shippo lead her away from the cave. Don't worry, Kagome. Inuyasha knows what he's doing. We have to hurry, Bunza said as he and Shippo led Kagome out to a nearby forest. What about Asagi and the other children? Are they all right? The Miko questioned. No, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. Myoga's watching over them, Bunza assured her. Yeah, Myoga's a coward, and he would never run headfirst into danger like the others did just now, Shippo added with rolling his eyes. Kagome let out a relieved sigh as they hurried through the forest. At least the little ones she cared for were all safe and uninjured from what happened in the cave earlier. Suddenly, Bunza and Shippo stopped in front of Kagome, who also was sensing a demon aura close by. Kagome, if we tell you to run, run, okay? Shippo whispered, but Kagome didn't hear him as she moved towards where she was sensing the demonic aura. I don't sense any evil or hunger within this aura, just fear. Kagome then carefully moved the bushes in front of her and her friends, and what she saw made her gasp in shock. It was a Nekomanta, trapped under a spiritual-powered net in its small form, who looked very similar to Kilala, only this Neko was a boy, and had black streaks on its cheeks. The tip of its two tails were completely black, as well as the end of his paws. Finally, the fur around the little guy's neck was black, but otherwise, he and Kilala could have been twins. Oh goodness, you poor thing, Kagome cooed sadly as she carefully moved closer to the trapped little cat, who growled at her. Kagome, be careful, Bunza warned. It's okay, he's just scared. I can sense his fear, Kagome the Miko clarified. She turned back to the little Neko, who still growled. Shh. It's okay, little one. I'm not gonna hurt you. Shippo, do you have any food on you? Kagome asked, turning the little fox. Just some handmade cat treats I made Kilala. She loves them, he said as he pulled out a snack that smelled like fish. I was wondering why you smelled so weird, Bunza commented as Shippo handed the snack to Kagome, who took out some of the cat treats and offered them to the little one who was trapped, whose growling ceased a bit after smelling the food. Here now, the Miko said kindly as she laid the food in front of the feline, who devoured it within seconds. You must have been so hungry. Here, let me get you out of that trap, the Miko stated as she moved the net that held the little Neko demon down. Once free, the Neko got up and approached Kagome carefully, sniffing the air near her, as the Miko herself carefully held her hand out to let the little guy sniff her. After a moment of sniffing, the little cat then nudged Kagome's hand to the top of his head so she could scratch behind his ears. Aw, you're so cute, the Miko cooed as the little Neko jumped into her arms and began to purr. I wonder what happened to him. That net had to have been woven and crafted by someone with great spiritual powers. This thing made it so this little guy here couldn't use his powers to fly away or get bigger, Shippo stated when suddenly they all heard a twig snap from close by. Kagome, Shippo, and Bunza turned while the Neko growled in the Miko's arms as a wolf demon with one eye emerged from the shadows of the trees. What do you want? Bunza demanded as he and Shippo stood in front of Kagome protectively. Came to bring the bait back to the den. I can see she also found that little Neko the old Miko trapped to slaughter here, the demon stated roughly. Kaede did this to him? The Miko asked in disbelief as looking at the little Neko in her arms. Yeah, she was going to kill it later. You should understand better than anyone. Mikos kill any demon they see, unless they have to deal with one like the old hag did with our alpha. Unless you have a deal with one like the old hag did with Koga, the wolf demon stated. Shippo and Bunza frowned. How dare you! They started, but Kagome cut them off. You're wrong. I only killed the demons who were threatening or killing humans. And I've recently learned, not all demons or half-demons are evil. Those with demon blood can be caring and kind, too, just as humans can be cruel and hurtful as well, Kagome exclaimed as she held the Neko close. Heh, doesn't matter to me either way. You're coming with me, Miko, the wolf demon stated as he pulled out his sword, but before Kagome, Bunza, or Shippo could react, the Nekomata jumped out of Kagome's arms and in front of the trio, transforming into its larger self, letting out a mighty roar towards the wolf demon, who smirked. All right, furball, come and get me, he challenged as he swung his sword at the large feline, who easily dodged the attacks and scratched the wolf demon in the side, who cried out in pain. You little flea bag! He growled as he ran off to retreat back to the wolf den. That was amazing! Bunza shouted as he and Shippo cheered, petting the Neko, who purred in affection as he walked back to Kagome and nuzzled her with his large head and licked the side of her face. Thank you so much for protecting us. Kagome paused, realizing she didn't know what to call the Neko, but after a moment of thought, she turned back to the purring large cat. Thank you, Kororo, the Miko proclaimed. Kororo, huh? I like it, Bunza said. Me too, Shippo squeaked. Kagome was silent as the three of them were petting the feline, and after some thought, she looked up at her three friends. We have to go back, she stated firmly. Huh? But Kagome, Bunza started, but Kagome cut him off. No buts, and no worries. I have a plan. Let's go, she said as she then turned to Kororo. What do you think, Kororo? Can you give us a ride, please? The Miko asked politely as the large Neko gave her a nod and lowered himself to the ground so she, Bunza, and Shippo could hop on. In the air above the forest, Kagome pointed in the direction of the wolf demon's tribe's den. Straight ahead, boy. We'll need to get there fast, the Miko said as she tried to ignore the negative thoughts of how badly things could go if her plan failed. No, she had to go back, even if it meant risking more than her life. She had to try, at the very least, to end this once and for all.